Hello, my legion. Yeah, I thought I'd add an amendment to the birthday video that I did because there was a part where I shot outside and that was obscured by wind, and I thought I'd at least comment on that. What was obscured by wind? Basically, when I was in Garlstedt, Germany, it was a 2 year period. I was at Lucius Clay Concern, and one of my friends, PFC Eccles, and usually in the Army we refer by each other by their last name, and usually I don't remember or don't recall their first name, but we would refer by their last name. And him and one of his friends and myself, we went out, and went out drinking. It was my 21st birthday. We got hammered drunk, and what happened was we ended up going to Bremerhaven to the Lassenstrasse, which was their red light district. And basically, that's what was obscured by wind. And then I met up with this one girl that looked like a cross between Nina Hartley and Ginger Lynn. And I had a good time, but she copped a little bit of an attitude with me. But, you know, I got what I had to get done. And that was what was on that. But, I mean, for the rest of the story, please check out Happy 21st Birthday Clubs and Wedge, okay? And you have hear the rest of the story. As the late Paul Harvey would say it, you know. But since I was talking about my experiences in Germany, I thought I'd tell you all about my brush with death, which is a very real thing that happened there. I came within inches of dying, and it was just a weird experience. I got to tell you, there's a big history behind that also. But basically, when I was in Germany for 2 years, a lot of the Germans did not like the Americans being there at all, even though we helped out their economy. Especially, it was in like a small country. I mean, a small, not country, a small, like we lived in a like a countryside, where it's real local and stuff like that, lots of farmers and stuff like that. And in the middle of that, we had our own post, a Lucius Clay Concern, which is like a 3 mile like little city inside, but the rest of it was all countryside, and we helped their economy a lot. But apparently they didn't want us there, and then they usually had little protests, 2 or 3 times a year, and I've walked through a couple of them before, because I wasn't, I still had to rent my horror films and go to a great place called La Casa, which is probably the best restaurant I've ever been to. They had like ribs, they had gyros. Some people call it gyros, I call them gyros. They were delicious. They had lots of German food. They had currywurst, which is like they sell curry ketchup there, which is like ketchup blended with curry, which is delicious, like a brown colored. I tried making my own curry ketchup with that and a curry powder. It just didn't work. They had their own currywurst. They had frikadelis, which is a spiced meatloaf patty, which is served with 2 pieces of toast and mustard. And they had a whole bunch of other stuff. They had barbecue there, and they had everything there. And it was probably the best restaurant I've ever been to. I mean, Uncle Charlie's is probably the one I had the biggest history with in Edinburgh. But I had the most memories with La Casa since it was only a 2 year period, and now I'll probably never ever go back there if it's still even in business. Well, anyways, there was lots of protests outside there. And then once a year they have like a mega giant protest where they close off the whole post. And they said one year there were like 60,000 people out there protesting for the Americans to go back to the USA. And a lot of times, I'm not saying anything bad about the German people, but they didn't like us there. I remember trying to go into Aladdin's one time, which was a place that was forbidden to go to. It was a place that was off limits for servicemen. Well, and we broke off into groups, and the thing was we weren't allowed to smile. You had to go through a bouncer, to be let in. And of course, Mike Wilson, his one girlfriend, get in there. But Mike Wilson has no class. He's a real asshole. I mean, I think he couldn't smile anyways if he wanted to. I hate this son of a bitch. But we were with him, and Jeff Moscone, and then Jeff Moscone got turned away, and some of the other friends got turned away. But of course, Mike Wilson and his girl stayed inside there. I think we ended up taking a cab home, and it was like a ruined night. But they didn't like it there. I remember we were outside standing in line, and all the Germans weren't smiling, and of course we were smiling because we were drunk. You know, that's how I guess that's how you tell the difference between American and German because we were always smiling. And I remember going, the guy German running past us and just giving us the finger and stuff like that, saying, "Go home, American, go home." You know, and I'm not saying anything bad about the Germans. That's just the way things were back in like what I was there from like '89 to '91. What do you think? You think from '88? What at like right from my let's see, it was January September of '88 to January September of '90. For someone know, end of July '88 to the end of August '88 to August of '90, I think, something like that. I can't remember the exact dates. It's been over 20 years, you know. Well, anyways, whenever outside the post, we lived on the Autobahn was outside there. What the Autobahn was a stretch of highway created by Adolf Hitler a long time ago where you can go exorbitant amounts of speed. I mean, there's no speed limit there. You can go as fast as you want, which can be dangerous too, believe me. Well, anyways, I was with my one friend, and he had a car that would always conk out, and he had to get out and push it till he started to back up again. He had a crappy used car. And of course, we got out and we got drunk. And I mean, we were drunk. We got really drunk in Germany. I mean, I'd go to a bar and I'd drink a couple of beers and I'd drink all the tequila they had. And a lot of times, it felt like your brain was hooked to a car battery. That's how drunk we got. And then we'd go and knock over trash cans or do stupid shit like that. So we thought it was funny. And I was like 19, 20, 21. And then it was weird. There's no drinking age there. So we saw like, you had to be careful. I remember I was dancing with this one girl and they said she was the hottest girl in the club. She was only goddamn 14 years old. I was like, nothing happened. You have to be careful. And there was like, I remember this one kid looked like he was 12 years old at the bar drinking and stuff. It's really strange, because we're really strong about our age limits here as far as drinking is concerned. Well, anyways, me and my friends got really drunk. And right when we were turning in to the post, the car shut down. Like, oh crap, we have to go out and push. But we were pushing a car, this one car driving like a bat out of hell, real close to us. And when we pushed the car, he almost hit me. That's like a half foot away from where he hit me. Now, I mean, that's an oh shit moment right now, but back then I laughed my ass off. I was so drunk. And it was a scary feeling. I got the adrenaline pumping inside you and stuff like that. It was a really scary feeling. But I just laughed it off. I laughed like a maniac. And the other guys looked at me like, you're nuts or something. But it was a very scary feeling. I think just because I was so drunk is why I laughed like that. And then we, like a half foot within dying, because that guy would have killed me. And we pushed the car inside, and then, and that was it. And that's the last I remember. And then I still remember that happening, but it was just weird. We were just talking about that. And then I think everybody just like, well, good night, good night. That was no big deal, but holy Christ, I came close to dying. And that's just the way it was. It was a crazy time in Germany. And like I said before, I was in there for most of the time. And then I went to Linderhof, Germany, right back when I first started in Germany for a couple, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I mentioned that before in another video. And then that was a place that was world famous for having guard dogs there, guarding guarding the building and stuff like that. That was in the papers and stuff like that. Big deal. And that was the only place that had guard dogs. I think the dogs kind of like me. They barked at me a little bit. I think they like me. I don't know. Well, anyway, I had keys to the break room, so I pretty much ruled the break room for a while. It was pretty cool. And also, I looked like the captain there, and he had a nice looking wife. I mean, the guy said maybe we should act on that. I was like, oh shit, I don't want to get in any more trouble. I don't want to get in no trouble. I had security clearance. I didn't want to lose that. You have to be really careful, so they'll screw you when you get in trouble. And my one friend got in trouble for drunk driving in Germany, Jeff Moscone. When he got in trouble, the next paycheck he got zero, because he had a monthly paycheck. He didn't get any pay for like 3 months straight. He was restricted to post, which restricted to post ain't bad. It's not that bad. People think it's like it sucks, but it's like a little city. There's a Burger King, there's a library, arcade, slot machines, rec center. It was really nice in there, but he was restricted to post, and he had to do like all this bogus like yard work along with Mike Wilson, the asshole. That's what happened whenever they were both drinking at Shafee's, a local dive bar we used to go to, and they were both drunk. And then this one girl that they were with wanted to know if he'd take him home. And Mike said, and Mike Wilson, who's an asshole, was talking to another girl, so he gave my friend the keys, and he was drunk already. And then he had a little fender bender and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden Sergeant Smith got called, and then he went right to the bar where Mike Wilson was, and then he caught hell. You know, and then Mike was talking, going in and leaving posts and all that stuff. You're trying to get him into more trouble. He was a horrible person. Anyways, that was my brush with death. Pretty soon my next video will be I'm reviewing 4 70s Grindhouse movies from Crown International. If you saw, I had a little history of Crown International. I was going to include on there, but I ran long. I keep talking, you know. But I wanted to let you guys know about my brush with death. It was no bullshit. You know, it was really scary. You know, I laughed it off at the time. Well, that was my brush with death. Take care, my legion.